To do better work, change your environment. What? I'm saying, if you want to do better work, you need to change your environment. Am I talking about the environment? Am I talking about climate change? No, all I'm talking about is the answer to your work environment. Insofar as, watch this until the end and you'll get the best tips, the best reasoning, and the best summary as to why you need to change your environment to do better work. You see, doing good work is wonderful, but if everybody is doing good work and you just so happen to be doing good work, well then your work is going to be, well, just considered so. What you need is great work. If you can't compete with people in work, say for example if people have better qualifications or have longer work experience or are liked by the boss or supervisor, you need to figure out how to do better work. So change your environment. There's ways that employees need to have in order to be able to adapt to change. Now with economic climates and changing economies, everyone is moving from one company to the next. So they need to be able to figure out how they can get the best work environment and essentially squeeze the most out of the orange or out of the fruit, such to get the most juice, the most productivity out of themselves. Now if you're working alone, it's the same thing too. You need to be able to figure out, how can I get the best out of what I have? And one of those things is changing your work environment. Now when I say environment, I'm not just talking about the physicality of the actual place. I'm not just talking about the location or the desk that you sit at. I'm talking about your attitude. So firstly, if you look at your attitude and question yourself, is it positive? Am I doing all I can to get a positivity and productiveness and efficiency out of what I'm doing? Like if you maintain this positive attitude that you've always had, or think of when you started up your business in the first place, or when you had that concept, that idea, even if you hadn't really generated fully how you're going to earn the finance or get the actual wheels in motion with regard to your business, know how to market it or how to advertise it. If you haven't even come to that realization, think of the feeling, the positivity, you had that spark of creativity, of knowingness that there was an opportunity for you within this realm, within this business, within this area. It's the same way if you got that job, when you started that job, that enthusiasm you had, that positivity. Think of that. This is how you can change your environment. You need to reignite that and to maintain, not just maintain, but to exaggerate and find new exhilaration in this good, positive attitude. Now, this is regardless of what way you are within your department, within your company, or who you're working with. You need to see your situation as it is right now and find that positivity. You need to promise it to yourself, in fact, in order to get to the next level, to change that environment. The next thing you need to do is to recognize that change is constant. Now, I know that sounds an awful lot, especially if we've just adopted the attitude of saying to yourself, yes, I need to find that spark again. That positivity that was there at the beginning, at the outset, when I had that initial idea to go into this career or to join this organization or start off this startup, in fact. Start off? Yes, you start off a car, but you start up a business, right? So your startup from the start off can be reignited. Although if you're petrol in the car and reignite it, maybe avoid that. Got to be careful with your words, as with your attitude. And that is change. Change your words like I have just done. And that is the central core of this point, that change is constant. So in getting your new positivity, you have to also recognize that other things around your environment changes. One of those things, of course, is people. I know one particular client of mine was talking to me about leaving their job. Now, their job ticked every box for them. They had a very good income. They had a very good interaction with the staff around. They had a love and passion, in fact, for what they were doing and how they were doing it. They even had freedom of time to do it. And they could study. Imagine that. They could study within their workplace, even when there was downtime within the workplace, when there's less productivity. They could actually open up their laptop or their computer and study within the hours of work. And their workplace would pay for it. And they would get a promotion at the end of it. But there was one thing that they hated, and that was their boss. Now at that time they were also building a house, and they wanted to have a home, and that was wonderful. So off they went and built a house. And as they were building the house and the expenses were getting more, well, you can imagine they were just ratcheting up and becoming more of a burden. Their problem in work was becoming, well, as they felt or perceived, that it was becoming just intolerable. It was becoming too difficult. What was happening was their boss was not appreciating what they were doing for their workplace. So this just multiplied in their own head, and they needed to get out. They needed to get another boss. So they wanted to change all the good things, 9 out of 10 good things essentially, to get one good thing, a better boss. They would even change the type of work they were doing. They would even change the colleagues that they were working with and the friendships they had forged through the years. They would lose them just for the respect by a boss. More so, they would put in jeopardy their own home and the building of their own home just so they could get better appreciation from a boss. Now, it just shows you what a person will do or want to do to get ahead or get away from a boss like that. But if they understood that change is constant, and they did, but not by their own understanding, it just happened. Right when they were about to exit the position, the job, they decided, that's it, I'm done, I'm handing in my notice. And just like that, that particular day, they were called into a meeting and they found out, all of the staff, that their boss, their particular boss, was leaving. He was going within the company to a different position overseas, and therefore there was going to be another boss that would come in. And from that change meant that everything else around changed, and that person then finished their studies within their course of action within the job they were doing, got promoted, got more money, got respected, and kept their friends and built their house. So change is constant. Change in workplace is constant. If it's not the people, if it's not your boss, you can change too. You can do study. You can change job. You can promote. You can even demote yourself in order to get to where you want to be. But in the case of that particular example, and in the cases of all, it's really important to stay connected to people that you have already worked with. Going out on your own, for example, starting a new business, learning from the industry that you're in, learning from the workplace that you're in, or going to another company, working with them, or a business that you perceive as better, gives you more opportunities at work, is a really good idea. But burning the bridges with the people that you worked with is not. Because once you go somewhere, you are losing that social support network, that fun maybe in work. And you might think, you know what, it's okay, I'll get it in the next job. But you might not. You're not the same person as what you were maybe 5 years ago. So you might not find the exact same fun or rapport or banter in work, or even if you're working for yourself. So you're going to have more pressures, more things, different reactions for yourself to deal with. Burning the bridges of people that you've already worked with is not going to work, because you need to stay connected within the industry. You need these people. You need their knowledge. You need their awareness of what's going on. You need also to communicate with others to learn basically what you need to do in this new role. And again, whether it's you going out on your own or going into a new company or whatever it is, you need to learn from others. If it's only their mistakes, you're going to learn how to improve your own environment. If you learn from other people's mistakes, like watching this wonderful YouTube video, please subscribe if you haven't already, please do. Did I say that out loud? Yes, I meant to. It's a poem. But anyway, back to the video. If you learn from other people and you figure out that they have been unsuccessful at what they're doing and you're stepping into that role, all the merrier, wonderful. Learn what not to do and go from there. That's as good a start as any. If you learn from other people how to be successful, brilliant. If you can just impart one little bitty thing, one small thing into your new thing, then you are going to be successful or more successful in your role. Setting a goal and setting where you want to go with your new job, your new position, your startup, whatever it is. You need to have a short-term and a long-term goal. In order for people to respect you around you, you have to have aims. This goal or goals are where you are going to be successful or not. Whether or not you're actually going to get what you attain or set out to do is another thing entirely. But you need to have that goal in order to change and improve your work environment. Finally, you have to define the change. And this is a thing where I'm glad you've come to this last moments of this video. This is a thing that most people find it difficult to get their head around. But change is often not just fully articulated, shall we say, when the change or the management of change begins at the beginning. There can be a nature change that might be necessary from the outset, and it's difficult to see it maybe at the outset, but it's necessary still. So there needs to be various steps, shall we say, along the way. So we need to define the change. It's like subsetting goals and figuring out where to go. We mightn't necessarily get to those overall change in a small way, but we need to break it down in itty bitty small places. And then once we do, we get from A to B to C to D and so on. We get the big change, we get the promotion, we get the new job, the new startup, whatever it may be. But we need to change our working environment. So they're very tangible ways of changing your environment to be successful so that you can do better work by changing your environment. So thanks for watching. Thanks for giving your subscription of my channel to me. If you haven't already, please do. But until next time, have a wonderful day.